They insult you, they provoke you, they try to humiliate you in front of others, and you feel it, the fire rising in your chest, the urge to explode, the desire to strike back. But what if I told you that every time you get angry, you lose? You lose your balance, you lose your clarity, you lose your power. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai who ever lived, killed over 60 men in duels, wrote the Book of Five Rings, and left behind a philosophy that is still feared by warriors, CEOs, and leaders today. And Musashi had one rule burned deep into his code: never let anger control you. This isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about transcending them. And today, we'll unlock Musashi's forgotten wisdom and learn how to never get angry again. Stay with me until the end, because this lesson could make the difference between being controlled by life or controlling it. Part 1. The Warrior Who Conquered Himself. Miyamoto Musashi was no ordinary fighter. He wasn't born into wealth or noble lineage. He was born rough, wild, untamed. At just 13 years old, he killed a trained samurai in his very first duel. From that moment, his life became a storm of steel and blood. But here's what made Musashi different. Most warriors fought with passion, with anger, with pride. They wanted revenge, they wanted to prove themselves. Musashi didn't care about any of that. He understood something deeper. Anger clouds the mind, and a clouded mind loses the fight. Musashi won not because he swung his sword harder, but because he refused to let emotions dictate his movements. His enemies came at him with rage. He met them with stillness. That stillness became his deadliest weapon. Part 2. The Poison of Anger. Let's pause for a moment and step into philosophy. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, echo the same truth. Anger is poison. It promises strength, but it delivers weakness. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is often more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Think about that. The insult someone throws at you might sting for a moment, but your angry reaction, that can burn for days, destroy relationships, ruin reputations, and sometimes end lives. Anger is a trap, and when you fall into it, you hand over your power to the person who triggered you. Musashi knew this long before psychology confirmed it. Modern science shows that when you're angry, your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, shuts down, while your amygdala, the primal, emotional center, takes over. You literally stop thinking. That's why Musashi said, "A true warrior never lets himself be led by anger." Part 3. The Battlefield of Life. You might not fight with swords, but make no mistake, you are a warrior in your own battlefield. When your boss humiliates you in front of colleagues, when your partner disrespects you in an argument, when a stranger cuts you off in traffic, these are battles, and if you let anger dictate your actions, you lose before you even draw your blade. Musashi believed life itself was a constant duel, not just against enemies, but against yourself, your impulses, your fears, your weaknesses. The man who controls his anger doesn't just win fights, he wins life. Part 4. Musashi's Path to Mastery. So, how do you master anger like Musashi did? 1. Detach from the ego. Anger is almost always rooted in ego. How dare they disrespect me? How dare they talk to me like that? Musashi killed his ego. He lived in poverty, rejected luxury, and refused to tie his identity to status. When you have no fragile ego to protect, insults bounce off you like arrows against armor. 2. Embrace the void. Musashi spoke of the void, a place of pure clarity where nothing disturbs you. It's the same as the Stoic idea of the inner citadel. Every time you feel anger rising, imagine stepping into the void. Breathe, center yourself. Ask, Does this matter, or am I feeding my ego? 3. Delay your strike. Musashi was notorious for arriving late to duels. Why? To break his opponents emotionally before even drawing his sword. This is psychological warfare. You must do the same. Delay your response when provoked. Don't reply instantly to insults or attacks. Time is your ally. 4. See the enemy's weakness. An angry opponent is predictable. They swing wildly. They speak recklessly. They show you their cards. Musashi exploited this every time. When you face anger, don't mirror it. Study it. Their fury reveals their weakness, and your calm becomes your weapon. Part 5. Real-life applications. Let's bring this into your world. At work, when a colleague undermines you, stay silent, stay calm. Watch how their own frustration exposes them, while your calmness earns respect. In relationships, instead of exploding, step back. People fear silence more than shouting. It shows power. In negotiations, the calm man always wins. Anger narrows vision. Calmness sees the whole board. The one who keeps control always walks away with more. Part 6. The Musashi Test. I want you to try something Musashi himself practiced. For the next 7 days, treat every insult, every frustration, every disrespect as a duel. But instead of drawing your sword, you draw your silence. When someone provokes you, imagine Musashi standing beside you, whispering, "Do nothing. Watch. Let their weakness consume them." By the end of the week, you'll notice something strange. The things that once made you furious will barely touch you. You'll laugh at what used to enrage you. That's power. Part 7. Why anger is a slave's emotion. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Anger is slavery. When you're angry, you're no longer free. The one who provoked you is your master, pulling your strings like a puppet. Musashi refused to be anyone's puppet. That's why he lived undefeated. That's why his name echoes centuries later. To never get angry again doesn't mean you become weak. It means you become untouchable. Insults, disrespect, humiliation, they slide off you because you are beyond them. The man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. So remember Musashi's lesson. Anger is weakness, control is strength, and the one who conquers himself conquers the world. If this spoke to you, then join us. Subscribe to Stoic Power Codes, where we turn ancient wisdom into modern power. Don't just watch, train. Don't just learn, become. Because Musashi was right. The way is in training.